Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to my who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawa Club coming at you with another lesson. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 18. For in much sorrow is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. All right, so today's lesson is going to be a slightly different. All right, this time, today's lesson, I'm going to be, I actually have a script I wrote out because this lesson is going to be a bit more of kind of a grievance, maybe a rant, spiritual rant. Yahawadah. So Lord willing, this will be edifying, some edification from this, and learning a very important lesson, and be boosted in the faith. Slakia for being so long-winded, but let's begin. Basically, first off, let's start off with this, what we read, Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 18. For much wisdom is much grief. All right. Let me also actually get, which I just thought of now. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. So the thing is, if we are always in a comfortable position, okay, we tend to, a lot of people tend to forget the humble beginnings and just equate, and because of the newly found power that they have, they tend to just think, any problem that I have, money will just fix it, because they were most times than not, they were in a position where they lacked money. That usually is the case, with especially poor people. I have all these problems. They're financial problems, but then, they don't really have the time, to really go into whatever other potential problems they could potentially need to face. All right. So as a result, we have, poor people who think, money will fix everything. Now, let me also get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So, the point is, and the main thing isn't about money. All right, this is not the crux of my rant. But it is one of the talking points that that most people do have to go through. All right. But the thing that I'm trying to get at is, so yes, money is a defense. Money does solve people's problems sometimes. All right. But the thing is, or the main thing is that when we lack that money, when we lack the defense, okay, keyword the defense here, because this, funnily enough, this scripture is actually what I needed, because it's while it says money is a defense, it also says wisdom is a defense. All right. What does the scripture say? All right. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right. So wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. That's going to be what protects us during Jacob's trouble, during all the hardships that we're going to be inevitably facing. All right. So, Slakia. Basically, my point is, or the basis of the rant is going to be centered around Slakia for being so long-winded about the concept of that people forget the importance of the journey. All right, they forget that in order to make it to somewhere good, or in order to be super smart, to be super wise, to have a lot of money or whatever, there are steps that need to be taken. There is a path, there's a journey, there is a quest, all right, whatever you want to call it, that needs to be undertaken. And you can't just be you can't just ask for, oh, I just want this. All right, this, which also brings me to this. Let me get this. Slakia, freaking the precepts are coming around like hot. All right, they're just popping up now. John chapter 14 verse 13, and whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. All right. Now this is the thing. When we might ask for something. Okay. Let's say, for example, you're asking for on the most basic carnal level. All right. You're asking for what's something carnal but reasonable. Let's say you're asking for a nice car. Okay, the current car you have is trash, or you don't even have a car, but you need a car. All right. So now what the Lord is doing, He's gonna make it so that instead of just giving you a car, like, oh, by magic you get a car or whatever, and something like that. All right. He makes it so that you get a new job. All right. Your job, that new job pays you better. All right. And then you are accumulating more and more money in order for you to save up to get that car that you want. All right. And then boom, later on down the line, you're like, oh wow, I can get a car now. But then the thing is, most people that are not spiritual, they will think that all that work that they did, all right, it was strength, it was through their own power. But in actuality, Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengtheneth me. All right. So it is through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. All right. Through the will and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, that we are able to. We are not only able to do these things, but things line up for us to be able to do it. Okay. It's not because, oh yeah, I grinded for this thing. Yes, it might seem like you grinded, or it might seem like you did all the work, but it was the Lord that set everything up for you to be able to work towards that thing. And that's the stuff that people that people always forget. All right. And which brings me back to Proverbs chapter 30 verse 8 and 9. All right. Remove far from me vanity lives, giving neither poverty nor riches, feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee. So when they are full, when they get what they want, okay, they deny the Lord, they deny the power that made them capable of doing what they wanted to achieve. All right. They say, as they say, who is the Lord? They say, who is the Lord? Or like, as in like, it's like, it's just like, it's like more so a matter of like you have to thank YAHAWASHI for giving you the opportunity to be able to find that job, to be able to get that car. And then they like, who? All right. That's basically the that is a Jake type of thing to say. All right, because Jake is the one that actually talks like that. They when you bring something up like that, they will say who. Like they know, even though it's like a rhetorical question, but they do say who. That is kind of a Jake thing. That's just a side note. But anyway, moving back on track. Slocky about that. The thing is, there is a journey that needs to be taken. All right, and let me actually read what I wrote down. So, when the Lord blesses us with something, let's take wisdom for example, as Solomon. Okay, Solomon. Let's actually just get that. Solomon. Wait. Okay, perfect. 1 Kings chapter 3. Verse, let's say, I want to say 6. Verse 6. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my power, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart, that I may discern good between bad. Let me start over. Verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And Yahweh said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there is none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. All right. So the main thing over here, where is it? He asked for an understanding heart. He asked for wisdom and knowledge to be able to judge things right. Solomon asked for an understanding heart to be able to judge the Israelites righteously. Okay, all right. And this is the thing, Slakia, this is the thing that we need to be hungry for. We need to seek out righteousness. All right. So the thing about that specifically, wisdom, is that wisdom comes from experience. All right. Now, Slakia, I literally have two different pathways for that. So Slakia about that. I'll read this first, and then I'll go to the precept I have. So as I said, as I started reading before, when the Lord blesses us with something, let's take wisdom for example. It's in the form of problems to solve, and not just instantaneously filling our minds with wisdom, but making us go through hardships to help us see how we handle certain situations. Okay, how to handle certain situations. Right now, with that in mind, let's get this. Luke chapter 2, verse 43. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child YAHAWASHI tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they had found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. So over here, YAHAWASHI, as a young man, it wasn't that he was what's the word, stuff, or gaining, well, he was gaining experience. It wasn't that he was going through stuff, but he was gaining experience through other people by asking them questions, and basically which is another form of gaining experience, and by extension gaining wisdom and knowledge. Okay, by asking or hearing someone that is wise and that is knowledgeable. All right, so if instead of you having to go through a problem yourself, you can just get the wisdom or the experience from someone else. Okay, this is funnily enough a thing that people don't like to do in today's day and age. I will say, Israelites that are in this truth, me personally, I have not seen any brother or sister that was foolish enough to think, okay, I don't want to heed the advice of elders and whatnot. I want to just make this mistake on my own. All right, I've never heard that, but that's just me personally. Maybe a brother has heard it, seen it before, whatever. But for me, that's just what I haven't seen. But what I have seen is people in the world, or Babylonians, thinking that, oh yeah, I don't want to listen to people. I want to do what I want to do. I want to make all the mistakes and then regret it later on. Basically, to oversimplify things. All right. Now, one example of that is kind of like what's it called? What's that thing called? How people like to do drugs. All right, people say, or parents say, hey, kid, don't do drugs, this and the third, whatever. Yet the children, they don't listen. They still do it anyway. They just want to do what they want to do. All right. Again, a major issue, a major problem that needs to be solved. But at the same time, that's just a strong delusion that the Lord put on Babylonians. All right. But for us, as going back, for us in this truth, we are able to gain wisdom and knowledge. Okay, through the scriptures and through our elders in this truth. Okay, specifically elders in this truth. Elders, and I literally made a lesson a while back. Basically, just because they're old doesn't mean they're wise or something to that effect. I think I made 2 videos on it. And the thing is, there are old jakes that are pseudo wise. All right. So what I mean by pseudo wise is they've come to a conclusion. All right, that, oh yeah, this needs to be done. But in actuality, this needs to be done. But in actuality, like that solution is shown to not have worked. And the thing is, that's the whole Jubilee thing. That was a Jubilee video where you got Eves, but old school Jakes and whatnot that lived through, I don't know, fucking Martin Luther King or something like that. All right. These are the people that are saying we need to fight the power. We need to do all these protests. When look at what the protests got. Martin Luther King, which also I believe Martin Luther King actually is straight up coon. I've been doing a bit more research. I didn't get to finish it because honestly, at the end of the day, I will say that type of research is kind of a waste of time. but at the same time, I was curious and I did dive a bit into it. What was happening was there was okay, Slakia, let me stay on track. Anyway, Slakia, truly Slakia about that. Anyway, the point is that the journey of there is the journey of going through hardships, and the older generation has probably said, you know what, yeah, I didn't listen to my mom, I didn't do this, I didn't listen to my dad, blah blah blah, and as a result, I fucked up and I ruined my life. All right, so they say to the newer generation, don't do this, don't do that, and that experience, okay, basically transfers to the next generation if they listen. Keyword if they listen, or key phrase if they listen. All right, and if they do listen, then they get that wisdom and knowledge, that experience in that time, and they grow from that. They have that wisdom, and they're able to be improve and be better than the older generation. All right, if they listen. But there's also, which is what YAHAWASHI was doing over here when he said when he was asking questions of very smart people that were very knowledgeable in their fields. All right, doing more complicated jobs, I guess, which is doctor that's very knowledgeable in very stuff. So I don't know exactly the type of questions that he was asking, but very clearly, I think it's safe to say that doctors are not only very smart but also very wise. So with that YAHAWASHI had the base of a understanding heart, all right, which through the spirit and power of Yahawadah, we believe, or I believe, him to be King Solomon, all right, as he started out with an understanding heart. I hope that the thing is still recording. Bear with me, Slakia. Okay, there was just a pause. Slakia, okay, we should be back. Okay, anyway, as I was saying before, again, okay, let me close these stuff out. Okay, so it should be good now. Yahawadah. Anyway, now the thing is, as I was saying before, what YAHAWASHI was doing, he was asking questions, and he had an understanding heart, the base of an understanding heart, so he had a higher capacity to understand more than normal. From that understanding heart that he had, as Solomon, the spirit and power of Yahawadah, if you can receive it. All right, now with this in mind, technically, he was gaining experience by asking all these questions, and at the same time, for someone like us, all right, people with not as big as understanding as YAHAWASHI, but we're still able to, learn, all right, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. We can either go through hardships, or we can ask questions, or be guided from our elders. All right, and there is a lot that the elders could teach us. There are speaking elders in this truth, of course, that we try to learn. And not to brag, but that's always kind of been what I always did. There were times where I would rebel, I guess, in a sense. But when I was younger, I usually would accept whatever an authoritative figure would say to me. All right, so I would, say, what, yeah, sure, okay, fine, whatever, yeah, and then I would go along with it. And for the most part, I I didn't really get into much trouble. All right, but of course, there were times where I thought, you know what, I want to do this, so I'm just gonna pick and choose. I'm gonna pick and choose when I'm going to, listen and when I'm not gonna listen, because there were some things I just thought, like this is kind of bullshit. Like I'm not gonna listen to this. I'm not gonna follow along with this. I don't believe in this. All right, and I believe that that's just through the Spirit that even though yes I was quote unquote considered a goody two shoes. There were times where people would say, oh yeah, I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing. But yeah, there is also the it's like the lack of a need to go into a hardships in order to learn. Because if someone is telling you about the problem and how to solve it or how to avoid it altogether, then you don't need to go through that hardships or and translate that into the lesson. If the Lord is basically if the Lord determines that He can show you and you will learn on your own, or He can show you without having you go through it, then the Lord's just gonna. If you don't what's the word? If you're not wicked, of course the Lord's not gonna let you go through any hardship that you didn't deserve. But if you're being a stiff-necked nigga, all right. And when I say stiff-necked nigga, I mean, so all the Israelites, not just Judite, but all the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. Okay, all of you guys, if you are being stiff-necked, you don't want to listen, all right, then the Lord's going to punish you for it. He's going to put you through hardships. All right, so that's why when you're being told something, all right, if you're able to just receive it, if you're able to get it the first time, you're able to just listen and say, okay, you know what, I understand, and it's able to come to you with much ease compared to most people, all right, then there's no need for you to go through that hardships, okay? But for people that are just too hard-headed and they don't want to listen, they just want to do what they want to do, all right, then there comes a time where you have to get your ass beat, all right? There's no other way to say it, all right? Like, you have to get your ass beat. Slocky, I think that's funny, but I do think that's funny. But yeah, that's just how things go. All right. If you want to basically go through as little hardships as possible, then you gotta be willing to accept certain things and receive it. You need an understanding heart. All right. But at the same time, when you are actually going through hardships, all right, you have to understand that, yeah, you have to accept it. Okay, let's get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Okay, so yes, we're going to be going through some hardships. We're going to be going through some hardships. We're going to be going through, but it's probably because we weren't able to accept it with it just being told to us, hey, don't do this, okay? I know you like this, but don't do this. I know you want to do this, but don't do that, all right? So that's why we need to, just take the time to, like, really use it as a learning experience, okay? To even, just because it's a loss doesn't mean that it's, it's that bad. Some our loss, we learn from our losses, and we stay humble in our wins. All right. Like, but there's also when we are in that lowest state, okay, we also need to acknowledge and remember that this is that trial, and this is just the setup for when we are ruling in the kingdom of heaven, and this is how the Lord is blessing us. There's a trial that comes before the reward. All right, this is the build up to the kingdom of heaven, as well as the journey to the kingdom of heaven. Just like with most great adventure stories or whatever and whatnot. All right, think about, okay, one of the most common things that most Jakes love or Israelites love. Okay, and I'm not even just me as well, me included. Okay, Dragon Ball Z. Most Israelites grew up on that. All right, and all that stuff that made Goku as great as he is now is because, or as strong as he is now, as amazing as he is now, is because of all the near-death experiences, all the hardships that he had to go through in order to make it to where he is now. All right, the freaking what's it called? Demon King Piccolo saga, fucking Piccolo Junior saga, Raditz, all the whole line. All right, Frieza all the way down, all of those hardships, all those dying, near death, and stuff like that. And it's the same thing for us. For when we are in the kingdom of heaven, our stories are going to be great. Imagine, there's going to be a story, or the Lord recorded all these stories, all of our individual stories to tell the children in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Oh, this is the story of Kawakub going through this, that, and the third. All right. This is the story of Araya and so on and so forth. All the brothers in the thing. All right. Just as there are stories of YAHAWASHI and other brothers that are in this truth. Okay. Other brothers that are in this truth, or that just as there were stories of other, people in the scriptures. All right. Our ancestors. There's going to be there Yahawadah, there will be stories, great stories, on us as well, telling of the tale of when we bested whatever, or we had gone through and made it through this X hardships. All right, this is going to be a beautiful day for us to be able to look back on. All right, now, finally, Proverbs 3 verse 11, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction, for whom the Lord loveth he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Okay, so in that same way that a father, let's say if you have a kid, okay, not just a father but a mother, I would hope, but when you have a children, you want that child to be upstanding. You want them to be better than you. You want them to be as good as you, or whatever. All right, you want them to be good. You want them to go on a certain path. You try to guide them, and then you punish them when they are going off, when they're doing wrong. In that same sense, that's what the Lord is doing. If we cannot get it, if we cannot understand and accept what the Lord is trying to tell us, keyword tell us, right, so that we can gain experience through word of mouth, all right, or through word of wisdom, or through the scriptures. If we're not able to learn that, then the Lord's going to, let us go through that hardships and whoop us, okay, metaphorically, I guess, parabolically, whatever you want to call it. He's going to whoop us, and then he's going to whoop us by putting us through that hardships so that we can go through that, suffer, and then learn, okay, you know what? Now I got the experience, now I got the lesson that the Lord wanted me to know, and I'm better. I'm a better person for it. All right. I'm a better man of the Lord, woman of the Lord, whatever. All right. I grew from that. All right. So we have to be able to accept that. All right. But at the same time, sometimes, we're not gonna be we're not gonna just go through it by word of mouth. I would pray that we're able to have the heart of understanding, an understanding heart, to be able to say, okay, yes, I see why I need to do this. I see why I should not do this. So I'm gonna steer clear from that. All right. Or the Lord's gonna, punish you. But it's not a matter of just saying, oh yeah, just take. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. All right. Like, no, you have to the best of your ability, learn the lessons now. Okay, and speaking to myself first and foremost, because I'm still learning. I'm still trying to, open my mind, open my heart, open my whatever, to see, what I have to learn from this. I can see let me learn from someone else's mistake. Let me learn from this. You know what? Now I know to never do it. And that's the thing. That's the funny thing about it. Because I've never, Saki, I've always said, okay, you know what? Let me see. I'm gonna watch what they're doing, and then I'm going to not do it. Okay, that's even though that's usually a comedic thing that people say. All right, but that's a true thing. Okay, you look at what someone is doing, and then you don't. Someone that's going off is doing, and then you don't do it. All right, when you see that it gets them into trouble, then you clearly know, okay, I don't want to be like them. All right, if you think of as I previously mentioned before, you don't want to just the Lord doesn't work by just okay, yeah, you're in a video game, for example, and then oh yeah, you're just super strong. Okay, no, you have to work your way up from level 1 all the way to level 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't skip all the way you don't go from level 1 to just level to level 100. Oh yeah, I want to ask that from the Lord. No, okay, just as the same way that the Lord, that YAHAWASHI said, where is it? Ask anything in His name. All right. When we ask for it, there's a process that goes with getting it. Okay, we will achieve it gradually. As I had mentioned with the what's it called, Goku wanting to be Goku becoming as strong as he did. It's not because he he's just born strong. He was one of the weakest, okay, but he became one of the strongest. All right, and even then which actually, funnily enough, he embodies this. Okay, Sirach chapter 2 verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Okay, Goku was always happy to engage with the next biggest fight and whatnot. Okay, Beerus, fucking Frieza. When the story presented them as, oh my god, yo, do not fuck with that person. They're literally they're hyping up these characters, and then they live up to the hype, and then Goku's getting his ass by Frieza in the first time, and then Beerus, and then Goku lost to Beerus and all this stuff like that. But yet at the same time he said, yeah, I still want to do it. Yeah, let's go, all this shit like that. All right, so we have to be in a way. I'm not saying to be a dumbass, but in a way we need to expect these hardships and be willing to go through these hardships. Speaking to myself first and foremost, because I really don't like having to go through hardships, but at the same time I'm trying to psych myself into saying okay, you know what, when this comes, especially Jacob's trouble, when this comes, you know what, be ready, accept that, push through, fight the good fight of faith. All right, trust that either the Lord's gonna protect you in that time, or the Lord's gonna overcome it. All right, so through the Spirit and power, I pray through the Spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, you're able to accept it, receive this word. I pray this lesson was edifying. Slacky, if some parts of it was a bit long-winded, but at the end of the day, I pray that you got the initial, the main messages, honestly, because funnily enough, there was a lot more than just one. Okay, it's not just about the journey. Funnily enough, yes, it is about the journey. If you can't listen, okay, if you can't receive this lesson that someone's giving you, just be ready to take the journey, take the journey on cheerfully. But if you are able to listen, then that I guess through the Spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, you're able to bypass the hardships that come with the lesson. All right, through the Spirit and power of YAHAWAH. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Rakak, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Abad Babal and Shalom.